Why is it? Have you ever wondered why it is that some businesses and individuals stand out from the crowd? They have that buzz about them. The world seems to circle around them rather than them clamouring to try and get other people's attention. Why is it out of the billions of businesses and websites that are out there, only a handful of them stand out? I'm talking here about people and businesses like Steve Jobs and Apple, or perhaps Jamie Oliver. Everyone knows who they are. Everyone respects them. Everyone wants to be like them. But these guys make mistakes. They're not infallible. Steve Jobs was famously booted out from Apple. He was a difficult man to work with, but he was respected. He pushed the boundaries. He created that buzz. Now, I believe it comes down to three qualities: integrity, confidence, and creativity. The integrity of your business means people will trust it. The confidence within your business means people will believe in it. And the creativity, well, that encourages people to want to be a part of it too. Now, if you combine those three qualities with a desire to make a change, a desire to push it to see how far you can go, that's when you're going to create the buzz, and that's when you can change the world. My business set off really, really small. In fact, it came about by total accident. I was having a conversation with a next-door neighbour of mine, and she was upset. She wanted to get a long let on a house that she had. Problem was, no one wanted it. So I said, "I'll tell you what, Di, why don't I rent it from you if I'm allowed to sublet it as a holiday cottage?" So I rented it for £500 a month, and I sublet it for £500 a week. It was a win-win situation. Now, my business has grown. We've got more cottages. We generate around £5 million a year, and most of that goes back into the Cumbrian economy. But I always say that the business was created through integrity. It's got the foundations of integrity, because for me, integrity is about always aiming for a situation where everyone's a winner. It's aiming for that win-win at all times. So I was happy. Di was happy. The guests staying in the cottage, they were happy. The pub down the road were really happy. They had people coming in every week, buying drinks, buying food. And when you're small and local, you have to act with integrity, because you're working with your neighbours on a day-to-day basis. Cumbria is like this great big village. Everyone knows everything about everyone. And if they don't, then they know somebody who does. So if you try to screw somebody over for that last bit of profit, rather than aiming for the win-win, everyone knows about it, and your business will be harmed in the long term. Does that sound scary? Actually, I think it's fantastic. Our business grew because of that. Our business grew through word of mouth. The problem is that as businesses grow, they often focus more and more on the profit and less on everything else, certainly less on integrity. But if you want a business with a buzz about it, focusing just on the money, that's where you're going wrong. Just like Cumbria's this great big village, the world is getting smaller and smaller. Everyone's got the internet at their fingertips. Everyone's rating and reviewing and recommending, and it's all out there like this great big whisper doing the rounds. And it can fail, just like that. Even in the days before the internet, Richard Branson almost lost his integrity. He got overexcited by the idea of easy money, and he started cutting corners. He started pretending that his records were for export. Now, in doing that, he was going to save himself loads of tax. He almost got put into prison for it. And that was the wake-up call that he needed, because he understood then the value of integrity, and he's been creating a buzz ever since. So how about this as an idea? What if everybody was nice? What if every business acted with integrity? What if every business aimed for a win-win for everyone involved in it? So for the people working there, for the people buying the end product, for the other businesses it's working alongside on a day-to-day basis. Wouldn't that be something? I'm making it sound like it's really easy. It's not. Obviously, it's not. You can't expect everyone to like you. You can't expect everyone to share your values. But if you act with integrity, if you aim for that win-win, then hopefully people will still trust you. They'll still respect you. So what if you've got these fine and noble thoughts? You're a nice person, but perhaps you're a little bit too nice. You hate the thought of conflict. At the first sign of a problem, you just want to run away to the nearest beach and bury your head in the sand. Like I said, you can't please everyone all the time in your business. So what happens if you're aiming for that win-win, but it just goes a bit wrong? For a long time, it was just me in the business, working by myself in the spare room. When it got to the stage where there were more emails at 10 o'clock at night than there had been at 8 o'clock in the morning, I decided I needed help. It was time to take somebody on. So I went to the bank, I bought a proper office in Keswick, I took my first person on. And it was wonderful. At long last, there were enough hours in the day. Little by little, though, we added more desks, more computers, more people. We spread out into the back room. There were now 9 of us in the office. And it was about that time I sensed a sort of general rumbling, a general air of discontent and negativity. Now, my instinct here was to immerse myself in work and hope that the problem would go away. I suspect if I'd done that, though, the business would have gone downhill. The situation would have got worse. People would have left. So I took a deep breath. I rolled my shoulders back. I plucked at my confidence and I faced the situation. I talked to the guys in the office. And it was really simple. They wanted somewhere away from the ringing phones where they could take a proper break. So I went to the cafe over the road to have a cup of tea and think about how best to sort this out. By the time I'd finished that cup of tea, I'd put a permanent tab behind the counter. Now, anyone who works for us can go to the cafe, they can have a coffee, they can re-energise, they can take time out from the phones. It's the perfect win-win situation. The guys are happy, they've got somewhere for a break. The business is happy, it's buzzing with positivity. And the cafe, another local business, they're happy, they've got regular income. And it's those things that create a buzz. So you need to have confidence in yourself and in your business to face things. That's just a little example, but it shows the importance of taking responsibility. Don't be going blaming other people. Let go of any resentment. Face things, and you can move on in a positive way. If you believe in yourself, other people will believe in you. So you might have this great business. Everybody trusts it. Everyone believes in it. But what is it that makes them want to be a part of it? The billions of websites and businesses that are out there, what is it that's going to make yours stand out from the crowd? What are the chances of that? Well, this is where creativity makes all the difference. Creativity is quite simply about being curious. It's about enthusiasm for trying new things. Perhaps I'm lucky. I've never had a proper job, so I don't actually know what you're supposed to do. I don't know what the norm is, so I've got no boundaries, I've got no preconceptions. The possibilities that are out there are endless. I'm always loath to call myself an entrepreneur because having a holiday cottage agency, well, that's nothing new, right? But look at some of the stuff we're doing within the agency. The creativity is out there with boundless energy. And you don't have to take my word for it. Have another look at Richard Branson. If you say the word entrepreneur, then it's Richard Branson that comes to mind. He's the king of creativity through inspiration. But making records was nothing new. Having a train was nothing new. Having an airline was nothing new. Here's the thing, though. His business put a creative twist on it. A few years ago, I went onto one of his planes for the first time. And as I stepped onto the plane, there were purple lights down the side, just where the cabin windows are. The carpet was purple. And on the speakers, Prince was singing Purple Rain. It was one of the quirkiest bits of fabulous nonsense I've seen in a long time. But being creative is not just about beautiful pictures and fabulous branding. As I said, being creative is about being curious. It's about enthusiasm for new things. It's about thinking about the technological side of things as well as the beautiful side. It's about thinking, what can technology do for me? Who can create the technology to do this? It's about creating creative partnerships. It's about asking the question, what if? What if? About 4 or 5 years ago, I asked the question, what if? was at a time when social media was still a novelty. Do you remember back in those days? And I asked the question, what if our Facebook page was this fantastic place where we could bring people together to talk to us, to share their dreams, where we could create a movement of sorts? What if, instead of 1,000 followers, we had 100,000 followers? What if we had 200,000 followers? What if we had 1 million followers? Now, we might be a small company based in Cumbria, but our Facebook page has been recognised as being the best in the travel industry. But more than that, it's got a buzz about it. It's not just about the number of followers, it's about the talking to each other, it's about the sharing, it's about creating that buzz. And again, being a local, small company means that you can be creative. You have to be creative because you have to be creative in order to remain competitive. If you've got a big business, you can afford to be lazy. You've got the funds for it. But also, if you're a big business, it's actually quite hard to stay agile and responsive. But if you can be responsive, if you can be agile, that's when you're going to create a buzz, just like Apple have done, just like Jamie Oliver's done. To have a business with a buzz, you need integrity, confidence, and creativity. But what if your business has vast swathes of creativity and integrity, but it lacks the confidence to take that next step? Or what if you've got boundless creativity and boundless confidence, but you'd always prefer to take that little bit of extra profit over the win-win? Or you might have lots of integrity and lots of confidence, but you're lacking the creativity to push the boundaries, to make that buzz. If you can be honest with yourself, all's not lost. Have a look in the mirror. Which of those 3 qualities do you have? Which one are you lacking? Ask someone you trust what they think, because you might be surprised at the answer. There are plenty of businesses that are based on a partnership. So once you know what quality you're lacking, go out there, find someone who's got that quality, recognise the value of it, and defer to them. Let me tell you about a partnership that was created over 100 years ago. The first guy, he left school after 1 year because he had to leave and help his mum make ends meet. But he was hugely creative. He liked messing around with all things mechanical, especially motor car engines. He also lived by the motto, whatever is rightly done, however humble, is noble. He'd also been involved in 3 or 4 different businesses. They'd all failed. Then he met the second guy. Now, this second guy had oodles of confidence. He had the confidence to set up one of the first motor car dealerships in Britain. The second guy was called Charles Rolls. The first guy, the one with the integrity and the creativity, he was called Henry Royce. And together they set up a partnership that has a buzz even now. So there you go. The integrity of a business means that people will trust it. The confidence means people will believe in it. And the creativity, that encourages people to want to be a part of it too. If you look on a local level, you'll see these 3 qualities everywhere. If you combine them with the desire to push it, to see how far you can go, then some of these businesses will grow and grow. People believe in them, people trust them, people want to be a part of them. As they grow, only a handful of them will hold on to all 3 qualities. And that is why only a handful of businesses out there have that buzz. Those are the ones that can change the world in a positive way. Thank you.